There was an ad in the Nipmuc Journal to see whether growing cabbage would be a viable enterprise in this area.
Here, look at that monster.
My grandparents were getting to the age where they were contemplating selling the farm. I took the opportunity to change careers.
He came home and he says, guess what?
I started having, a lot of menu ideas and items I wanted to cook.
So he'll ask for these little carrots that are like a pencil.
To him, that was like, no.
And I thought, such a waste. You wait a week and they're going to be double in size.
I leave the little ones behind. You want them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Traditional would be a more realistic way to go.
Whatever. We can dig up our old carrots at 4 inches long, and who cares? Because there's 3,000 more of them out there. My name is Michael Brownlee, and I'm the chef and owner of Mabel Hill Farm Kitchen Marketplace. Well, I grew up in a small town. I used to help out with my grandparents for a vegetable farm, planting, harvesting, maintenance, marketing. I was always kind of been like my grandfather's right-hand man.
So I'm gonna take these 3 out here. You can sell a couple at the market here. I probably only need 1 for tonight.
We always had lots of gatherings. It's always been a celebration in our home. Having the opportunity to have fresh produce available at our fingertips, we really got an opportunity to eat really, really well.
Look at all the carrots and beets that we gotta get off.
Well, they're ready. I think
Yeah.
next week, maybe even Thursday, we can start harvesting.
Food was always at the center of a lot of gatherings. We always had the opportunity to share that with others, and I just really enjoyed the joy that it brought to people, and seeing people have a gathering, eating good food, and like how happy everybody was sitting around and the energy in the rooms, and that's really kind of what made me want to continue in this path a little bit more. And watching my mom and actually both my parents being very, very good cooks themselves, my Baba being a very good cook, learning different techniques, and that's kind of really what pushed me to want to do what I'm doing now.
There was an ad in the Nipmuc Journal that the University of Saskatchewan was advertising for any farmers in the area that were interested in gardening. I thought, well, I've been having problems growing potatoes without scab, so I'm going to go to this meeting, see if I can learn something. And I found out that actually they were looking for 6 growers in the Nipmuc area that would take on a 3-year project to see whether growing cabbage would be a viable enterprise in this area.
He came home and he says, guess what? I still don't know how to get rid of the scab on the potatoes, but we're going to grow cabbage next year.
So we decided to plant 1 for the project, another acre for ourselves. And by that time we learned something about growing cabbage, and we cleared $800 an acre from our 2nd year. So then, getting a little bit greedy, the 3rd year we grew 3 acres and did even better. In the 4th year we started growing 4 acres, which was 40,000 cabbages. And we just continued growing 4 acres almost ever since.
You think we've planted enough this year?
Actually, I think you got a little more than you're going to be able to cook up in your kitchen. It wasn't quite enough to keep you occupied, so we expanded to grow all the vegetables, and we expanded our orchard to 1,500 Saskatoon trees, plus strawberries, raspberries, all the fruits. What I'd like to say is that we got carried away with our hobby. Good thing we have the markets to look after a lot of these carrots.
Can't leave any behind, I guess.
I leave the little ones behind. You want them.
Here's your size.
Yeah. Thank you.
My grandparents were getting to the age where they were contemplating selling the farm and moving on. So after graduating culinary arts and then working at a few restaurants, I took the opportunity to change careers or, look at it in a way where, okay, can I do what they're doing and put some kind of smaller version of a food service into that operation so that I can still do what I do love, which is cooking. I started having, a lot of menu ideas and items I wanted to cook, but I also really wanted to introduce, the garden aspect to a restaurant. And I knew that to do an operation like this, it kind of was only going to work if I came home.
Man, these are a big one. Some are falling off, eh?
Yeah.
It's another good market.
Yeah, we had a little bit of harvesting to do yet this morning, so we had more corn picking this morning, and I had to get to the dill and pick some fresh tomatoes before market, so that's why the 7 a.m. start.
My parents ran a successful business for many years, and they've helped me dial in the business side of things, and I can focus kind of on the kitchen and what we're growing.
So 4 per bag, right?
Yeah, 4.
It was a good corn day. That was our big seller of the day.
So we started out just selling our surplus at the front entrance of the restaurant, and we were trying to keep up with that all week long. And we soon realized that it was more feasible to have one large market a week. And then if we do have a bit of extras after the market, we can continue to sell that little bit.
There's stuff like the raspberries we like to get sold because once you pick raspberries, they don't last forever. So, stuff like that, it's nice to get sold. But
And we sold all the raspberries.
yes.
Which is perfect.
Yes.
I really wanted people to have the opportunity to experience a garden and then dining around it and knowing that whatever they're eating is coming from here. I wanted to give that farmhouse charm, something that was like that rustic but modern farmhouse environment, essentially. I want people to feel like an escape from the city life, town, anything like that. I want people to feel that they were gonna come to a farm. The only way to do that really is to do it on a farm.
They more or less put me in charge of looking after the gardens, and I look forward to each day to be able to get out in the garden and see how things are doing. Today we prepared for the market. Tomorrow I'm looking forward to seeing all my old friends from 25 years of marketing that are going to be here and greet them and reminisce and have some good times.
So this is going to be a part of a roasted vegetable. We're going to use carrots, some of our fresh beets. We're going to roast them together, and then going with it, we're hoping to have grilled corn on the cob. We'll move on to the beets. Beets tend to be a little bit messy because they give off a lot of red color. You'll see right there is a super dark, rich looking purple. So what we try to do is highlight the best of what we grow. We also like to use local suppliers such as Belgian Bison Ranch for their bison meat, which we are going to be doing a standing roast bison prime rib this evening. Hey Nathan.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good, you?
Good. There's your prime
Oh
rib.
wow, that's awesome.
Michael's mainly looking for our prime cuts in our ribeyes, strip loins, and tenderloins. The only problem is he seems to do a better job of cooking it than I do.
Hey, if your family's not too busy tonight, do you guys want to come join us? We're going to do a big long table on the deck, have some fresh veggies, go along with this beauty.
That would be excellent.
Okay, so about 6:30, that's all
That'll
right?
work. We'll
Okay,
see you
perfect.
then.
Yeah, we'll see you
Thank
then. Thank you. The carrots, we're just going to do kind of a roll cut, cutting them, rolling them once over, and just to kind of give them a nice little bit of a presentation. Just cut these as well. Try to go a similar size. Not anything particular for cut, just want them to be fairly uniform so that they all roast at a similar rate. So this is spaghetti squash. We're just gonna cut the end off a little bit, go into middle, down, both sides. Split that open, and then I just take a spoon here and we're just gonna scoop these seeds out. Spaghetti squash is one of my favorites, something that I grew up eating a lot of. What I really like about it is when it's just perfectly cooked, it should be stringy still, but it has a really nice sweet flavor to it. Tonight we're going to do something very similar to that. We're going to dress it up with some tomatoes as well, fresh in the garden here, and some fresh basil, and finish it with some aged cheddar cheese. These are going to roast and get really tender and sweet. Drizzle this, a little bit of olive oil, a bit of salt, fresh ground pepper. So we just got a medium hard old cheddar cheese. Should bake golden brown, and it's going to build a little bit of a crust as well, so it's kind of offer a little bit of a textural difference in the squash. Probably more than we need, but we'll still be fairly generous. No one's ever said there's too much cheese before, so. All right, now we're going to stick it in the oven.
There's a big age gap between Michael and ourselves. So when he decided to go with a restaurant that this community is not accustomed to, I didn't see how it could possibly be successful. As a traditionalist, I was more inclined to think to be successful in Nipawin with a population of 4,000 people, that traditional would be a more realistic way to go. But he decided to go the way he did, and I'm pleased to say that he surprised me and surprised a lot of other people with the success he has had. So it makes me feel good to think that I was wrong.
We're kind of amazed sometimes of what he's done, and you know, he doesn't always talk about his cooking or whatever, but when he comes out with these dishes and stuff like that, it's like where did you figure that out from? He's had such good vision about what he wants to do. It hasn't been easy, but people love the idea of seeing him walk out to the garden and grab something, and then 20 minutes later it's on their plate or whatever. So we're very proud of what he's accomplished.
We didn't really want it to be like any small rooms, this really big, kind of almost like an open concept. We wanted everyone to feel like they were going to be a part of the action and have a good seat wherever you sat in the restaurant. Because it was a custom thing, we were constantly taking second measurements, and you know, some things weren't going to work out, so then we would change our plans, and obviously, I mean, Pinterest is like, could be really good or really bad. You know, saving thousands and thousands of photos of, you know, what does a rustic farmhouse charm look like? So we have like the antique chandeliers, and the modern flair of it, for instance, is like the flooring has the cutout hexagons to make it kind of feel like it, you know, it's interchangeable without really a cut line being there. We also wanted to include some like open rafter concepts so that, you know, when people sit here, they're looking around the room, they're seeing what's up, they're be like, oh, this is a super cool building, and it's gonna be fun, lively, energetic. We're gonna see shakers, we're gonna see, you know, all the bar stuff happening. That was the idea, was that, you know, let's take what a farmhouse concept would look like, or a farmhouse would look like, and transform that into a restaurant. Remember building this, guys?
Oh yeah.
How can you forget? 5 years ago already. I think it kind of evolved over time. Like I know when we built this place, I kind of like the wide open ceilings, and I think you decided that, no, we need something else, more farmhouse look, and we got the beams put up. And
the talk about maybe this is too many windows or too big of windows, the cost of it. And you know, I'm glad we did this. Like, everybody that sits here gets the opportunity to look out.
Well, you want to be able to see that, right?
We built this because we couldn't do the events big enough at the restaurant, and we didn't know whether the restaurant was busy enough as it was. And
we thought, you know what, people like this place, beautiful, have a ceremony out there, but how many people are really going to want to rent a tent and, you know, rent all that stuff? And so if we really want to get into the events, I think we had to have a permanent structure. And you remember how that deck just kept getting bigger and bigger? It was here, okay, we got to put the deck on here. And then we said, well, maybe we should have the deck on the back, because that would be a nice outdoor space.
I remember walking out back like, man, this is such a beautiful side of the building, and all we have is lawn here.
I look back now and I look at all the wagon wheel lights that we have here and in the restaurant. Like, how did we ever find that many in the bush? Like, you just bought the right property that had a whole bunch of wagon wheels, and Guido had a whole bunch in his farm. It was just like,
all by luck.
It's just nice to come out and have a walkabout. I kind of miss the farm. I miss just walking out and just checking things out in the gardens and picking up some fruit to eat and eat it right off the trees. And it's just, it's relaxing to come out here.
What do you want to do with the cabbages here?
Well, these cabbage will take another 3 weeks to a month before they're ready to go.
So they can stay out here for a little while then, and we'll take it off a little later on. Yeah, and then we just put the mower on and mow it all down and work it all up. And
rototill and start planning for next year.
Yeah, great. I remember growing up and like working on the farm. It was a lot of work, right? It was hard work, and like, you know, you didn't get to pick the weather. You had cold days, you had hot days, you had days you just want to strip down to your underwear to weed, and you know, you probably shouldn't be out there, but it's 35 degrees out and you're out there in a field by yourself weeding. And you know, there was ups and downs too, but it just turned out that, you know, I was a kid still and still working to figure out, you know, what it was meant to be a reliable hard worker. The farm really challenged me, and he definitely challenged me. He always kept on top of me, and a lot of like my work ethic, my drive is from him.
So these bigger than what was at the farm before?
Yes, they are. We've had a very good season, lots of rain, and things have grown beyond expectations.
Okay, let's just get one more beet, because that'll be plenty.
He also likes to use very young carrots and very young veggies, and I thought it's such a waste because, you know, you wait a week and they're going to be double in size and they're worth so much more. But
one of the trends is baby vegetables. So like baby carrots, little squashes, microgreens, picking things when they just pop out of the ground. And to him, that was like, no. Like, you know, there's no money in it until it grows to this weight, this size.
So he'll ask for these little carrots that are like a pencil. And I think, what a waste, you know. But anyway, I'll bring them in and he cooks them up, and oh, they're delicious. Like they're wonderful.
From the restaurant side of things, we want everything small, young, and at their sweetest, essentially. And we couldn't understand the concept of, you know, we can charge a lot more for this because it is premium and small.
You know, even like cucumbers, as soon as they start appearing and you want to pick these little things, I said, well, you know, you wait 3 days and they're worth 3 times as much. I said, well, there'll be lots later on anyway, so.
And it took a long time. It wasn't until really that we got going on this project that now he's realized that we're also growing so much of everything that's like, whatever. We can dig up our old carrots at 4 inches long, and who cares, because there's, you know, 3,000 more of them out there.
I came up through a different era where I tried to get the most out of everything I grew. And, you know, both have their pluses, you know, and negatives, so. See, this is all ready to go.
Yeah.
See how nice and brown the top.
Yeah, dry it up a little bit. Perfect. Okay, let's get, I need about 4 more cobs. I think we'll do
right
it.
there.
Oh yeah, here's a good one. That's 1, you got 2, 3, need 1 more, one more big one.
I got one.
Okay, perfect. Should have brought more containers. These are huge, by the way. I'll get 3 of them here.
You know, if you had some smaller ones, I could probably sell a dozen at the market.
Yeah, I know. We could probably cut a few if you like, but I'm gonna pass them to you here. Look at that monster.
I think it's interesting that it's 3 generations. So each generation has, you know, that little bit of respect for the next generation. So there's never animosity between a bunch of coworkers because there's always been that love and respect between each generation.
Hey guys, what are you guys doing?
Hi, Michael.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Hi.
Look at some pictures here.
Oh yeah, are those all of me and
Yeah, some
my
of you
brother
here.
and?
Do you remember the first time you drove a tractor?
Oh no.
How old were you there?
Oh, maybe 3 years old? 4?
Did you have a license?
No. How about this one? Remember this one?
Well,
Going to market and you freezing my butt off in the vehicle with the air conditioner on at 6 in the morning, and it's, you know, only maybe 5 degrees outside.
well, I remember telling you that if you worked harder, you wouldn't be so cold.
In any business you work at, it's important that you give it your best all the time, and he certainly did that always. He was, you know, he was always the first one there and the last one coming back home at night. I knew to do anything like really well, you had to give it everything you got.
First of all, I like to see families carry on traditions and carry on what we grew up with, and we can pass some of this on and maintain similar lifestyles and be successful at doing what you're doing. I just enjoy being here, and I can see nothing but positives now and in the future, so it makes you feel good.
So welcome everybody, and we're gonna get started here with this big wonderful feast featuring all of your guys' wonderful artisanal foods. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll be right back out.
Yes, and she's quite the gardener. Nora's like, she's an outdoor girl. She's walking now, but she's just
Comes in from the garden, head to toe raspberries with a cucumber in her mouth.
just the fact that she's an outdoor girl, it gives us hope. It gives us hope that someday she'll be out there with us when I'm 70. Nora will be out there and picking with us. So
This is gonna be the first course, guys. So we have 3 things here. So we have our fried bean dish. Best way to eat this is to squeeze the lemon all over, give it a dip, go for the bite. The other one here is our pop wings, which has been the crowd favorite since day 1 of opening. The other one here is our tartare. It's using Belgian Bison's sirloin. And then you'll also find just some really awesome sourdough from the bakery here, Prairie Angel. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next course. All right, so on to the main course. So the Belgian Bison 20-pound prime rib. We also have some like warm carrot and beet salad, spaghetti squash. It's got some onions, some tomatoes, some aged cheddar cheese on top. We also have corn on the cob that's been picked this morning. It's got a little bit of brown butter drizzle on top, chives. There's also some horseradish here as well. So hopefully you guys have some room for this one as well, because there's quite a bit of food here to eat, so enjoy.
We have a bourbon brown butter cake on the menu. At my Baba's place, they used to do like a rhubarb custard pie thing and almost had this like caramelly sour cream filling almost to it, and it was very unique and different, and it was a hit from day 1. We sell so many of them, and it's been featured in a couple of cookbooks, and you know, we get people coming here with their book, flipping through our pages and being like, we want that cake, is it on the menu?
The other one here is our white chocolate amaretto semifreddo, meaning half frozen. And then we also just have the classic creme brulee with a real Madagascar vanilla bean.
We had taken it off the menu one time, and we had a number of people disappointed because it's not there, and that's like, we came here for this.
So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and you still have room for dessert, and you can enjoy that one too. So anyways, thanks so much for coming out, guys. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think we can take it off because I'm always worried that we're going to get more people driving 3 hours or whatever, like, we want this cake and you don't have it. There's a lot of people heavily involved in this to really make this a go, and I couldn't be more proud or more happy to have my closest family working alongside me. And it's funny how it's kind of just gone full circle, and people recognize them for it. Like, they're not just employees, they manage a space just like me, and we all kind of have different areas of expertise.
A couple I should have never heard anyone record this good. Someone's gonna have more than one anyways.
Sorry, I feel very emotional because we've been working together for many years, and I'm very proud of what he's accomplished. But he learned a lot from us. We learned a lot from him. He had the technology expertise, and we had quite a few years of experience, so we've exchanged a lot of good ideas.
Mabel Hill, to me, it's everything that I wanted to offer to guests. I have this beautiful garden on a beautiful property. I got really gorgeous facilities, one of a kind, and I don't have to go far from home at all. In fact, I just walk across the yard and it's all here.
Is there a restaurant or beverage producer you'd like to see featured on Max TV Local? Let us know at sasktel.com/local.